Have people actually brought helis and shit up here? Do you think 4.0 is fun to play? I think any server is fun to play with role players, dude. That's the big thing with me. I can go mechanic based or roleplay based. It doesn't really fucking bother me. It's the people and shit that make it more interesting for me. It's sort of one of those, like, you know, I sat there through 3.0 and had fun with the content brain myself, right? Like I can have fun with both sides. It's just like I think the overall uh I don't think there's a right or wrong way, you know what I mean? When it comes to like your preference on roleplay, and I think a lot of people think there is that, like, it has to be that way or this way or that way or this way for it to be proper roleplay and all that weird shit. But I think, I mean, you know, when I was on Soze, the roleplay was fine. I enjoyed a lot of it, and I didn't do anything. All my characters, even when Francis, like the first 2 or 3 months, all I did was hiss at people. You know what I mean? I didn't even talk to people. Like, the dialogue was me being an absolute fucking idiot. But I had fun doing that. Because the reality is 4.0 is irrelevant to what my character is generally. You know what I mean? And even in 3.0, like, um, I didn't really do much then when you think about it either. 2.0, I had the whitelist Coke system, which was pretty much free money to print, but like, I still had that same mindset. I think, you know, auto days was still the same shit. Like, it was pretty heavy RP oriented, and I think 4.0 I was like that too, but 3.0 it was a lot more crazy. But I don't think it wasn't like that because I wanted that role play. It's just because that's what the world was providing, I think. You know, even when I played auto through then, you know, it started off slow, but like, I mean, we were in the first few days in the middle of a fucking casino room, and Buddha was shooting fucking guns at the ceiling. You know what I mean? I think people have a very fucking distorted reality on, like, even how serious the start of 3.0 was. It was just nothing like what 2.0 was in general, but it's not a bad thing that it was like that, you know what I mean? I think it's just like the whole rose fucking colored glasses outlook, no matter what. Um, I mean, even the start of 4.0 was, you know, people were loving that shit, eating it up. It's just like the expansion on where we would usually develop heavier and, you know, fill out our things. Obviously, didn't happen as much because, you know, we were working on other shit. But like, I think that excuse of why it's shit is just like a lazy viewpoint on what roleplay really is. Like, if you think a server's shit or roleplay shit because of mechanics like that, then you're just not a role player, really. Like, that's just a reality. You know, at the end of the day, you dictate your roleplay and how it's pushed across no matter what you're given. You know what I mean? Fucking, I mean, look at SOE days. We used to drive around in a fucking postal truck 24/7 was the only thing to do. But people just didn't do it. You know, that was the one job, but people would be like, okay, let's just fucking meet up and roleplay and do shit. You know, chat and just see what happens. So you know, it's just a lazy, I think, you know, fallback to say shit like that. I mean, even 1.0 NoPixel and the start of 2.0, like, you guys, even I'm sitting here saying like 2.0 roleplay was so good, but when 2.0 released, everybody ran to the chop shop and everybody was inside the chop shop. That's what happened. Roleplay in itself wasn't even that much better in those days. It's just that it's like, I feel like the rule set was more of a better guide, I guess, back then to what we perceived the quality to be. But the reality is, it was all the same people doing the same style of roleplay, really. It was just, you know, I guess easier to find the specific people you wanted to RP with because the priority list was shorter and, you know, obviously the slots were shorter, so the consistency was higher, I guess. But you know, you still had the same old shit. Everyone was so intent on making cash at the beginning of 4.0. People were going hard on jobs. Yeah, that's fine though. I think that's what I mean. Like, there's a reality of why that's a thing though. 90%, let's say like 60 or 70% of the server is always going to have that grind mentality. But I think why 4.0 sort of failed overall, right? Not, and when I say failed, I mean like to give that viewpoint, I guess, of like a world that works for everybody. While everybody did have the same playing field, essentially what it created was to have an even playing field doesn't even out for everybody, because a character that role plays like Francis, well, quote unquote role played at the start of 4.0, even though it's, you know, oh my god, he isn't a real person, he is hissing, it's not roleplay or whatever. I am just losing in this world because I'm being that character, I guess, instead of grinding and making money, which is why I think whitelists are important to an extent. So, you know, there is some sort of like power dynamic where you can get cash and not have to grind as certain groups in roleplay. It's just going to be done in a way that isn't the start of 4.0 DOJ dog shit, where, you know, whatever the fuck that weird shit was, you know, we're just gotta be careful of like DMs and shit, I guess. But as long as like the power dynamics can change and it can switch around, I really think like whitelists are good. As long as they can be manipulated in roleplay and change in roleplay, which what I think like the mayor type systems are a very good example of. But I also think like the entire DOJ system is good if it's done right and understood a little better. Just, you know, as long as there's a position that's changeable, I think it's good. And that's not just DOJ. I mean like actual, you know, gang shit and whitelist civilian shit and stuff as well. But like the start of 4.0 got fucked by a lot of that, I think. You know, the way DOJ and shit was handled. Like, if there's grievances with it now, like, just imagine what it would be like if it was still, you know, everybody's a god mode character with no repercussions and whatever the fuck that was. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all good to, you know, just see what, what works, what doesn't. If you don't try things, or at least you're not willing to try things, then you're never going to get, you know, the right solutions, I don't think. I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, the reality is like everything, every 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 all has good aspects and bad aspects, just depending on how it was done, but business in general needs help, not much of RP anymore. Well, there's not much criminal RP either, to be fair. I think there's just not much RP is probably more of what it is. You don't think 4.0 failed? I don't, well, of course not. I mean, if, like I said, it's still very rare that, like, just consider any other server to make an update and then not do many updates for a year and see if it would survive as a whitelist server. Good luck, have fun, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah. Like I said, things just happen and are happening for a reason. It's not like we're doing things to, like, make 4.0 shit. It's just because, you know, that's just where we're headed at the moment. It's just how it is. NoPixel needs Koil around to keep it on the right path. Nope.